So we're gonna do card number 2 and then we're gonna do card number 6 at the same time. Only because they're similar in size and that piece is horizontal. So I'm gonna kind of show a couple of different ways to do this one, I think. I already have my images colored for the most part, but we're gonna restamp it. I might pull the other one in and do, you know, another card with it because I have 3 already done, but I'll stamp it. I'll show you how I colored it and we'll go from there. I did bring in Furious Barnyard as well. So let me see here. So I have Furious Barnyard. I just want the little chick from the Furious Barnyard because I think it's perfect with the Clucks and Chaos one from Unity Stamps. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going with this one. We will see. But you know, the little Furious Farmyard would look really cute on all of these. And size wise, stamp wise, the sizes are smaller, so they'd probably fit better on my preconceived notions. No, on my pre-done cardstock bases, or you know, my already patterned. So look for stamp sets that are smaller. Don't be Jamie. Hence, you know, my struggle busing. And we're on take 3. So because some of the bigger ones just don't fit on, you know, those bases, I will say that they will fit nicely on like card 7 and card 8, or, you know, again, card 1 because it's got all that open space. But those two, you can kind of do what you want with them, as well as card number 10 and card number 9. So, and card number 12. So keep in mind that, you know, a mix of big and or small critters is probably preferred. All right, so I have my 2 stamps on there. And with red rubber, these tend to be not like, well, between brands, right? So between companies, I haven't ran into as big of an issue when it comes to them not stamping. Between companies is going to be different because they use different, you know, Unity makes theirs in-house, but different manufacturers, I suppose their cushion sizes might be a little bit different, and so you might end up not being able to put mix and match sets. I hope that makes sense. Like this one is, maybe it's a little bit taller, maybe it's about the same height, but it's not going to, you know, I don't like to mix my stamp sets on my stamp platform when I'm doing, I mean, I do it, but only because I forget and then it doesn't work and then I have to undo it. So keep that in mind. For this one, I'm going to stick with the same colors that I used pretty much for the last one. Yeah, I think these are the ones that I used when I did this one. I might have brought in another green one and maybe a different color of blue to give me a little bit more variation, but we'll try to keep it fairly simple and close to that one. This one I went very loosey-goosey and not so much ink blending. Is that what I want to say? I shouldn't say loosey-goosey either. I did a lot of detail on this one, or like texture coloring. So for these big long feathers, I just kind of want to do some swoops on them, and I'm not going to blend these. I'm just going to swoop them. And then for underneath here, I'm just going to kind of lay down my base, just because she's sitting and exhausted because, children. Anyways, so kind of come in, and then I'm going to do kind of like the swooshes up, or the brush strokes up on this one, and kind of add a little bit there. I will add a little bit of drop shadow. Now keep in mind that Unity's red rubber tends to have a lot of texture to it, and so you can probably get away with, without even coloring them, just stamping and going, right? So I'm gonna just add a little bit there. I'm gonna try to do these both at the same time. Ha 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 ha. Okay. And I think we're good. So now I'm just going to come in and just dot. Dots take a little bit of time. but you know, they just add texture, and I'm not so worried about, you know, there being a blend or there being, because you're basically dotting in your whole image while you're coloring it, right? And so by doing it this way, you kind of get a fun, I don't know, multicolored look. I'm gonna come in with the lighter blue and just add another layer of dots over the top of that. I have chickens, right? So this one is kind of based off of my, I think it's called a Barnveld. I probably pronounced it wrong because I suck at pronouncing names. But they've got this black, it's like a black feather, and then it's brown on the inside of the feather. It's gorgeous. And then if it hits the light just right, it's got this tealy, turquoisey, blue-green shimmers, and it's just gorgeous. So that was kind of my, you know, color inspiration, I guess one could say, for this one. That blue and that green look. So now I'm going to bring in my, let's bring in the lighter green. I think this was the lighter green. No, that was the darker green. So I'm going to bring in my lighter green first, and I'm just going to add in the rest of my feathers here. So when it comes to animals and coloring, lighting and shading, like I'm not trained by any means. It's all just practice. I learned a lot by looking at actual pictures of actual critters when it comes to highlights, lowlights, kind of realizing where the light plays on it. That's kind of how I taught myself. So if you struggle with where your light placement is, look at pictures of real animals, or, and I'm not, like, sometimes I work harder at it than than I do other times. Does that make sense? I just, depending upon my mood and prevailing wind. Sometimes I love coloring. Sometimes I absolutely hate coloring. Sometimes it's that necessary evil that I need to do before I can go on to the next step. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So I forgot to do my little chick up top. So I'm going to come in with my lighter green here and just kind of go over all of it. And you can do it this way instead of the first way I did it. Just go over it with your base color, your lightest color. And I knew that I wanted them to be more on the green side than on the blue side. I wanted to kind of use my blue as my kind of, I don't know, base, I guess, or I don't know, my shadow or my deeper color. And so I'm just gonna come in and dot. On there, and we'll come in with a darker blue, kind of add some texture. And getting further and further with my dots as I go up. I don't want to totally cover it with, you know, Dippin' Dots. I don't know why that's what I think of when I think of adding stippling dots. It's Dippin' Dots. Can't say that I've ever had Dipping Dots because it just doesn't, well, aside from the creamy, I guess the creamy is my Dippin' Dots for me. He did not turn out as cute as my other ones. I'll show you my other ones. So just coming back in, adding some more dots. I'm gonna come back in with some clear to kind of push. So the clear pushes the color into the paper a little bit more. It's gonna lighten up everything that it touches, right? For the most part. I mean, it's not a miracle worker, but it helps a little bit. So I'm gonna put that one on there. And when I say it pushes, if you look at this one, you see how much more that ink has come through than this one. It's because I pushed that ink further into the paper, which ultimately, as it dries, it's going to lighten that area up a little bit. So if you over colored something, don't be afraid to try the colorless blender. and make it work for you. So for the little guy here, he just needs that part. And he's got a little flower, so I'll add some pink little dots there. And then for the chicken, I'm just gonna come in and color her. I don't know, I call it a gobbler. I don't think it's actually a gobbler, but her beard. Isn't it called a beard on a rooster? I don't know. Don't ask me those questions. Those are like technical questions. You know I'll go look it up when we're done, right? Because I look it up every time and then I'm like, yep, I'm going to remember the name. And then I don't remember the name when, you know, the time comes. So I let it dry and then I'm coming back in and just adding a second layer on the top. This way I can just use one marker for it and still get some depth in there. Now keep in mind this one's got all of those really nice detailed areas already kind of marked out for you, so you can just kind of go over those again. I am going to add a couple of dots because they do kind of have some deeper color in there. So for my orange, or I'm going to do that peachy color orange and just kind of hit those. And then of course this little guy's beak, well, because I kind of over colored. We'll try to get it in there, but I don't think we're gonna get a whole lot in there. And then we're gonna do the same with hers. And then just coloring the feet. So I watched a video yesterday about, you know, beginning, intermediate, and advanced coloring. And you know what they said? That expert level is really just a beginner that's practiced a lot. And so if your coloring's not where you want it to be yet, just keep practicing. You know, I always say I'm better than when I first started, and the first known evidence of me coloring was when I was 1 in a high chair. I have a picture. And you know, comparing myself to back then, I bet I'm a whole lot better now than I was then. And then for the eye, just to give it a little bit of a boost, I'm gonna have to go with Colorless Blender because I don't think I have. I'm just gonna dot, like a quick dot, and dab it out just a little bit. And then I just like to add that to the eyes just a little bit. It gives them a little bit more depth and dimension, and so they kind of get that 3D look to them. And then we'll take that over to the Brother ScanNCut and cut that one out. And the miracle and magic of, oh, I didn't do the ground, but I did the ground. One color of green, or one shade of green, and then I just stippled on some light brown to kind of give it that dirt look. And yes, I literally just tape my piece of paper onto my mat. Why? Because the mat only sticks so well, and I worry about my colored images getting ruined because if they move, right? So A, I watch it like a hawk, but B, I just put my mat, I just, you know, tape, clear Scotch tape it down, and it works every time. So there are my chicky images. Now for this one, I'm going to come in with my glossy black pen. Make sure that it is flowing well. And then I'm just going to dot little eyes on here. There we go. Oh, well, that one looks like you. I was a little cross-eyed. It's all good. So once it's flowing well, I don't have any issues. It's that getting it to flow well. I probably should have taken a little bit more time there. Or colored Junior's eyes in first. Technically, I guess this one's not so well. Yeah, it doesn't have it, so it's got to be a baby chick. Because it doesn't have its little, you know, thing under it. Oh, I did one eye and not the other. Wow. Just me. And this, like glossy accents, it doesn't take as long to dry, right? But it does take a little bit of time to dry, so try not to smear them. I will set them up there. And then we'll start with our card bases. So we decided on number 2 and number 6. I lost my cards already. Go figure. Okay, so this one and this one. And I can do these ones on some vertical ones again. I'll do one, and I guess it doesn't matter for the one because we're doing a whole background piece. And then the other one, do I want ivory or white? Let's look at what our options are. I said we were doing 6, but I decided to, yeah, I think we will. Okay. I think we're going to do ivory with that one, and we'll do this one with number 2. Okay. Just because it matches my paper a little bit better in the ivory shade. So for this one, is still, you know, because it's basically those, still working with those lighter ones. Let me see. So the Cowgirl paper pad kind of has this light brown tint to the outside of it. And by cutting it, of course, you lose the tint on 2 to 3 sides, right? Or if you're in the middle, you remove it all, and then it doesn't matter. But I like it to look a little bit more cohesive, I guess. Why does everything constantly move in towards the center of my desk? Always. I know why. It's just how I create. But I want to kind of give all of the things that same adhesive look. So I'm going to bring in, I decided tea dye. Distress ink, not the Oxide. It's probably going to be my best bet. It's just a light brown shade, and I think it goes fairly well. If you don't have one that's the same tone, just go over the brown that's there just a little bit, you know, just lightly, and it'll blend it in with the rest, and you won't notice that color difference as much, if that helps. I'm going to do the same on this one, just to give me a little bit more interest, and it's going to make the other piece kind of look, I don't know, like they belong together. I don't know. I kind of got a little overzealous there on my circles. Such is life. Now, for your plain piece of cardstock here, or even like this one, which is like the tone on tone, you could definitely do some tone on tone stamping on there like we've done in the past if you've watched the rest of the series. If you're new to this series, I'm trying to think if there's another. Maybe on card 11, we could do some tone on tone stamping. Let me write myself a note because I will forget. Card 11, tone on tone. Okay. It's gonna fall and I'm gonna forget anyways. Okay, so I have this piece and that piece, and then we're gonna do our sentiment. So, all right, I will set that one off to the side because I will need that again. I'm gonna clean off my desk though so I don't get brown everywhere. So we're gonna take this one and we're gonna glue that one onto the top. Now if you cut this one down, because you could do a 5 1/4 by 4 inches, I would encourage you to do the tea dye on the base piece as well, just because it'll give it some, that, I don't know, I guess it's called distressing it. I don't know, we did it way back, I don't know, when I used to be a close to my heart distributor, or whatever they call them now, creator. I guess close to my heart's no more, so it doesn't really matter, right? Creative genius. I'm kidding. You know, it was one of those like things that you did to add interest to your project. close to my heart had white core cardstock. It is my favorite cardstock. Why? Because it's got the white core, so you can sand it and you get a different look to it, and I absolutely love it. Yeah. So for this one, it's gonna sit off the square a little bit. I'm fine with that. I'll just move this one down a little bit. Oops. Do I want to pop it up? I think we're going to go less pop on these, just because I'm trying to behave myself. The idea with this one is to try to make them quickly, or, you know, not overthink it as much as I normally do. We all know that's a lie. I'm going to overthink it because that's how I roll. Okay. And this one, of course, I didn't cut right, so I'm going to have to go and trim off my base, but that's fine. And I could have done the blue, probably would have been better, but okay, I went with the pink. The blue would have probably looked more like a sky or something. Possibly. Okay, pay attention to what the other side of your paper looks like. I didn't. Okay, now for this one, let's bring in, do I want to put the little judgy dude there? I think I'm going to put him on the inside. Now for this one, let me pop this one off. This is my envelope, right? Okay, on this one, I have, let's see, I can't deal with this level. Me trying to stay calm while everything falls apart. This is my I told you so face. I think I'm going to do that one because I want to do, these are really small sentiments, by the way. Okay. Did I put that on way crooked? It looks way crooked. It probably is way crooked. Oh well. It is what it is, girl. Move on. Okay. Alright. This is, again, I pick it up with my door and then I kind of adjust to make sure that it's level, at least when you're using red rubber. Granted, for this one, I could probably put my sentiment on really crooked the other way because I did not, you know, do my thing, right? Okay. Oh, you know what would be fun? I should have done, well, we can still do it. We'll just have to do a modified version of it. Okay, we're going to put the little dude on here. But let's do the sentiment first. Okay. Okay, VersaFine Onyx Black. No, I saved it. I saved it. That was almost on my card. Okay. And I smeared it, but we're good. Okay. So this is my I told you so face. And I'm going to bring, oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh yeah, it is. It would have been cool to do this one with the level of chaos. Do I want to, yeah, then I don't need that one. Okay. I was thinking I was going to put the other sentiment on there and then I'd put the little chickies like all over and that would be funny. Anyways, this is my I told you so face. And on the inside, we are going to go with the little chickie. And then this farm runs on, I could do that one. Me trying to stay calm while everything falls apart, or this farm runs on sarcasm and silent judgment. I think we're going to go with that one. We'll do the little dude up top. Okay, I think we're good there. I think we're in the center. We are gonna go for it with the VersaFine Onyx Black again. And I'm just gonna wipe that one off. Do I have a green in my brush? I want to do like a little teeny tiny green brush. Do I have a little teeny tiny green brush? Here we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna bring in this one, and let's bring in Twisted Citron. Maybe is the one that kind of goes with, or Bundled Sage. Bundled Sage would probably be better, but let's do this one then. It'll be okay. I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of ink and just kind of add just a gentle green underneath, just to give me a little bit of color in there. So it's very subtle, but it's just one of those little added touches that kind of, you know, make it cute. You could also come in with your marker and, you know, add some pink to the flowers, or I would stamp it with a alcohol marker friendly ink if I was going to color it on the inside. Keep in mind that it'll probably go through your card base, so if that bugs you, it bugs me. So if that bugs you, just keep that in mind. There we have card 2. Now this one you could definitely go ahead and do you know, some stamping on the base piece. Where did I go with where? I am gonna do my envelope art right away. It's something I did on number 1 after the camera went off before I put my stuff away. I was like, oh, I should have done envelope art. I don't do envelope art enough on camera. So I'm just gonna pick up this one. We're just gonna come in with, I decided which color worked well with. The iced spruce kind of goes with the paper pad. And so I'm gonna come in with the iced spruce. Pop that on there. You could add a sentiment on here if you want. Just the little chicken I think is totally fine. But it just adds a little bit something to your card. So then you have your finished number 2. And for number 6. So we're going to use that same chicken and little chickie. I'm going to come in with my Distress ink on this one. And again, for the reminder for you and me, this is what we're going with layout wise on this one. So I'm just coming in with this one again, adding that light brown distressing to the outside. And because I was heavy-handed, I'm gonna go all the way around. And then for my card base, I'm gonna do the same thing. I really only need to do it on this side. So I'm just gonna hit that side with a teeny tiny little bit. Let's see here, make sure I have enough there. That should be good. I could do, I'm trying to decide if I want to do the little chickie like sporadically. If I go with the chaos one, I think it would be adorable. So I think I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna use the tea-dyed ink, and I need to find the little chickie. You realize half of our time spent here is just me looking for stamps. Yep, the thing that I just had. Okay, so there's my little chickie. I'm gonna keep in mind, I just kind of wanna haphazardly put him, her on here. I want it to kind of go off the edge in the page on spots. I don't know where this piece is gonna line up exactly, right? But I just kind of want to, you know, kind of go back and forth, make it a little chaotic. We'll keep them upright for the most part, but just rotating your stamp this way and that way. And we can do one up there. And it just kind of gives you that very simple pattern on there, but it just adds a little bit of interest, especially if you're using some plainer, you know, tone on tone cardstock or just a plain colored cardstock and you want to add a little bit of interest. It's gonna go with your card, you know, with your colors obviously, and then it's gonna kind of bring out another element on there. This one, okay, so I am gonna go this side. Not me. Struggling. Struggle is real. This way or this way, doesn't matter. That's gonna get covered up, so I'm gonna go this way because I want my bigger, bolder pattern on the top. Does it matter? No. Sometimes it's just visually in my mind, I think it'll look better that way. Oh wait. And for this one, we have the pink and we have the blue, and I'm going to use the bluish side this time, and I should still have enough ink on my blending brush. I'm just going to hit this one just a little bit. I'm going to clean off my desk again. Okay, so this one is going to go here. See, we cover up a lot of those baby chicks, right? Now I want to put my sentiment on this before I put the chick on it. I don't have to do it this way, but I think it'll look nicer this way. So let's see. Here's my chicken. I liked the... Ooh, therapy isn't enough. If that one's gonna fit, that would be kind of funny because, you know, all the baby chicks. Yeah. If you have kids, you know. If you have dogs, you probably know. Or cats. It's all good. Okay, so I'm gonna pop this one on there. I want to put it as far down in the bottom as I can get it, probably. Probably straight-ish. Yeah, I think we're straight-ish. Okay. And I'm gonna bring in that VersaFine Onyx Black again. Stamp that one on there. If you had a lighter colored paper, you could use your sentiment as like your grass. It would be kind of cool to kind of bring in that grass color. And then you can, you know, you can put it on top, you can put it on the bottom, you can turn it this way, you can turn it that way, however you want. The images are just kind of, or the layout is kind of showing you what your option, you know, what one option is, but don't be afraid to not adhere to the pattern. Says the girl who had to make a new pattern because she didn't adhere to the other one at all. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna put this chicken here. I didn't even use any of the little ones. I'll put this one right on top of that sentiment, hanging off the top. I thought about putting this one here, but I think maybe we'll put that one on the inside this time. Or I save it and we do chaos, but I think we'll do it this way. Therapy isn't working, y'all are the problem. Let's see. Me trying to stay calm while everything falls apart. Or oh, the options. All right. I'm probably gonna have to piece that. Okay, so I'm gonna come back in with this one and to kind of get it that centered mass and then figure out if it is close to where I need it to be. Don't be afraid to stamp your sentiments in colored ink. I just tend to use the VersaFine because it's readily available at the moment. And, you know, it always gives a really good impression. So, it's kind of my go-to. Let's add in... I'm going to add this little dude in the corner. Sometimes I will add colored images to the inside, especially if I do like a massively colored imaged scene card and I have a couple of images left over and I can pop them on the inside. And there is card number 6. Technically number 3 in the ones that we've done thus far. Okay, number 6. Do I want to do, let's see here. I think we're gonna go with the little guy, and we're just gonna do the tea dye across the bottom. And I'm gonna do first and second generation. Probably should have thought about that, but you know, it's all good. I was gonna say that second generation is very light. Anyways, there we go. So I just did the little chickens across the bottom on this one. Could definitely throw some on the top, but you know, for the most part, jazzing up the envelope is pretty easy. I guess this way would probably. There you go. Alrighty, I will be back with the next one. Shoo!
Hope you got your s'mores ready. It's time for stamp camp!